Hey everybody, 6:30 in the morning, February 16th. I'm usually not up this early, but something woke me up and I just happened to get on the news and found some very, very disconcerting things here. It seems I'm not, overreacting here or anything. I'm not fear mongering, but this article I'm reading right here from Sputnik News has basically confirmed that World War III is here and has been planned, in fact, by the United States. I'll let you guys, decide that for yourselves. This is a Russian-based news agency, but they're pretty non-biased, and they're pretty reputable, and they state the facts. They don't put out a lot of propaganda, like the other news networks do, like CNN and all those bastards. So anyway, I'm just gonna skim through this right here. It says rumors have long circulated that Turkey is planning to send ground troops to Syria. Although Ankara has repeatedly denied these claims, the ruling AKP party, which is the party in Turkey, mostly led by the parliament, it's the biggest party in Turkey that's conservative. Anyway, they want to annex northern part of the war-torn Arab country. Professor Mitchell Chuzadovsky told Sputnik Radio, and before I go any further, I just had to look this guy up to see what his credentials were. He's a Canadian economist and author, professor of economics at the University of Ottawa in Canada, and the president and director of the Center for Research on Globalization. He's acted as an economic advisor to governments of developing countries and has worked as a consultant for international organizations, including the United Nations Development Program, African Development Bank, World Health Organization. So this guy's, pretty smart dude. He's been around. In 2001, he founded the Center for Research Globalization, becoming its editor and director, located in Montreal. It describes itself as an independent research and media organization that provides analysis on issues which barely covered in the mainstream media. So this guy's, obviously a truth seeker, and he's in the know. He's been around, so I don't think this guy would be making up crap. There's an audio interview here that's about 7.5 minutes long that I highly recommend you listen to because it'll go over more in depth of what I'm talking about here. But he says that the forthcoming planned invasion of Syria by Turkish and Saudi ground forces was discussed at the NATO headquarters on the same day a ceasefire agreement was reached at the Munich Security Conference. He added that Turkish and Saudi representatives were present at Friday's meeting, which was chaired by the U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter. Turkish forces are already in Syria, he noted, referring to the unconfirmed reports that Ankara allowed approximately 100 Turkish soldiers or mercenaries to cross into Syria in order to support rebel fighting against Bashar al-Assad. The new development in this context is the fact that Saudi Arabia, now listen to this, Saudi Arabia, at the request of the United States, would be involved in ground operations under the pretext of going after Daesh ISIS fighters, which happen to be supported and recruited and funded by Saudi Arabia, which we all know. Those of you who don't know that, you're an idiot. Saudi officials made headlines earlier this month by confirming that Riyadh was ready to send conventional ground forces or special operation troops to Syria should the U.S. coalition opt for this scenario. So basically, Riyadh is Riyadh, I don't know how to pronounce this asshole's name, Turkey, quote unquote, is acting on the behalf of the United States. In effect, this means that U.S. supported forces would be inside Syria if this process goes ahead. For its part, Turkey is not a 100% proxy army of the United States. It has its own agenda and wants to annex part of the Syrian territory. And then it ends with, the geopolitical analyst also mentioned that the operation is coordinated at the level of NATO and the Pentagon. If so, then what we are dealing with is not an invasion of Turkey and Saudi Arabia. It is an invasion which is sponsored by the United States. I'm going to repeat that because... man, this basically confirms our worst fears. We all knew this in the back of our minds, but now here's the proof. This guy says that the operation is coordinated at the level of NATO and the Pentagon. which means it is not an invasion by Turkey and Saudi Arabia, even though Turkey does seem like it's a rogue state right now and it's going, it's shelling Kurds in Syria right now. They're basically, I've already kicked off World War III in a sense. They're shelling Syrian troops right now. It's just that Russia or Syria, no one has responded. So, but it's going on right now. But basically, what they're saying is that the United States, during the peace talks, had already decided to send in Saudi troops, and Turkey is just already started this, and NATO's coming out, the U.S. is coming out condemning the U.S. shelling and all that, which is BS. They're just basically using Turkey to get the war started. Saudi Arabia is then going to follow suit, and then which is going to give the U.S. justification to go in with their troops because they're all NATO members, and under the NATO pact, if one country goes into war or gets attacked and all that, then all the other NATO countries have to get involved, which that means Britain's going to get involved, Poland, all those other states and Gulf states. So this is basically World War III in the making, and it's scary stuff. I'm going to leave a link for this. I just wanted to go back. I put this. This is, thank God, has started to circle the internet now. I started out. I made a video the other day from Press TV, which is an Iranian-based company, but now it's hitting American mainstream, talking about Operation Northern Thunder, how they've got Saudi Arabia along with all the other Gulf states, like 20 or 30 other Gulf states, have got 350,000 soldiers, 20,000 tanks, 2,450 warplanes, and 460 helicopters that are massing in northern Saudi Arabia for a quote-unquote military exercise, which is complete bullshit because, as we all know, this is an absolute invasion force. This is unprecedented. They've never held drills of this size, and they are basically getting ready to invade Syria. And once all these countries do that, then the U.S. is going to basically go in with their troops, and then shit's going to hit the fan. I would expect false flag attacks here first, like I said before, so we can have actual real justification to go in and get rid of quote-unquote ISIS. They're going to be some sort of, I wouldn't expect, some sort of simultaneous attacks going off maybe here and in Europe, which will give both states, the UK and the United States, reason to go into Syria and kick this whole thing off. So, last article here I just wanted to get into real quick. The data shows airstrikes on a Syrian hospital launched by a U.S. coalition jet. So, a lot of people were thinking that, if you don't know about it, there are hospitals that were bombed over in Syria yesterday and the day before, where a whole bunch of kids and a whole bunch of people were killed. Doctors Without Borders, airstrikes. So, and America automatically came out and of course slammed Russia and said that it was Russia who did it with zero proof. And now the data is showing that they were actually led by U.S. coalition jet coming out of Turkey, which doesn't surprise any of us, and just more reason to blame Russia and criticize them and basically just another false flag that they've done here to get World War III started. So I'm going to go ahead and leave links for all this stuff. I encourage you, like I said, to come back to Sputnik News and listen to this this radio interview. It's about 7.5 minutes long, and it will sort of blow your mind and wake you up if you aren't already woken up. So that's all I got, guys. This is scary stuff, and like I said before, it's time to get prepared. It's time to do all the things that we've been talking about for the past few years, because this is going to get ugly and very soon.